How can you guys be going to a harvest host if you're not taking the motorhome?
Ooh, that's right. This is a harvest host.
Right. These seats go back. You can sleep. Nobody said it has to be a motorhome.
It has
or
to be
a trailer.
self-contained.
We could pee on the floor. And, oh, sorry, you're online.
Yeah.
You know, you wear one of those diapers like that
Oh my God.
astronaut crazy woman did, and you're self-contained.
That's true. Self-contained. Yeah.
Actually, we're going somewhere that Cindy knows the people, so, and they happen to be a harvest host, so
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
double
Well,
bonus.
let's check them out. Is this a family member or family friend?
Family friend, church friend for decades and decades and decades. I mean, forever. You know, since I grew up, since I was born, Rosie was probably there for that party when
that
I
was
was
only 40 years
unveiled.
ago.
Wow.
It was only.
We're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and we're here with Cindy because she actually grew up in this area on a farm, and she's back. And here you can see this is the Grand Falls Casino RV park where we stayed. There's Myles. Cindy contacted one of her childhood friends who is now helping run the family dairy farm, and we were given a great tour just to find out we're not that special because this is one of the things they do. They give tours. And they're a harvest host. The Stensland Dairy Farm is about 20 miles southeast of Sioux Falls. And we came down Beach Avenue from the casino and turned on 160th Street, which was a gravel road.
It's not a bad road. It's
It's really not. It's
Yeah.
nice and wide.
very wide. Just washboardy. They need.
And when we left, we turned out the other way, which was also gravel and about the same condition. It really was pretty easy for a big rig to get into. Stensland Family Farms was established in 1915 and is a family-owned and operated multi-generational farm, and now it has 13 family members actively involved. They have an interesting history in how they got to where they are. In 1952, Art Stensland began his dairy operation with only 12 cows. Art's young sons grew up milking and working on the farm, and eventually Doug, the oldest son, joined his father in the operation. And then they eventually decided to retire the dairy operation, tear apart, and sell the equipment. Okay, now fast forward to 2003. Doug's twin boys at the age of 17 approached their grandfather about restarting the dairy as a means to earn money for college. And with the help of Doug and his wife Mona, Jason and Justin got the farm up and running again. Then over the next 8 years, the dairy would grow to a robotic system, making life much easier, and was milking 250 cows. Then, in 2015, the farm broke ground for the creamery, where they now process milk, cheese, and ice cream, and more, as you'll see.
So we're actually tourists at the Grand Falls Casino. That's where we've been parked for 9 days while we're visiting Cindy. But this harvest host that we're visiting today, we're visiting just in the car. And you can imagine that if we would have checked this out on the satellite image, we could have saw that we would drive in and we would pull around, and we probably would have clocked around here, especially if that rig wouldn't have been there. You can see that setup that they have there. They have kind of a van that they have sleeping arrangements in, but it's also got all sorts of storage in the back, and then they're pulling kind of a teardrop trailer that's got a kitchen in the back, so it's kind of a cool setup. I'm going to be interested to see what age group the folks are in that have that thing, to see how that compares to us. You can see the view you would have in the evening. It's pretty nice. This is what Harvest Host is all about. It's to take the staleness away from camping day after day after day in a KOA or a Jellystone.
So on we go to meet Cindy's friend Doug and to find out more about his dairy farm and his connection with Harvest Host.
Rules of harvest host that you only allow one day?
Damn bugs.
They have that, but here's what I do. I said that's between that person and I.
Right.
And I don't have any problem. We've had people stay a day 2 days. I think we've had one even ask for 3. And they say, oh, you shouldn't ask. But I always go, that's our business.
Yeah.
Somebody comes
Yeah.
and, and if we're not booked up, we're going to give them a few more days because I always want to do what I would do. If I would go somewhere, I'd love to be able to set it for a couple days because you got a lot of areas you can see around.
First stop on our tour is in the gift shop and the selection of their dairy products. The ice cream flavors are phenomenal, and they're all made by Doug's wife, Mona. Oh yeah, they make their own pizza, too. Doug took us to the back area where they have a nice open area for their tour guests to sit, but beyond that is where the magic is, and he's showing us where they make the pizza from scratch.
I guess, yeah. So they're homemade, but they're frozen now. Yeah. So I'm just going to kind of give you just a highlight of the tour here a little bit, if that's fine with you, and then you'll kind of get an idea. So of course we're going to start in there, and we'll do a video, and it's going to show a lot of different aspects about what we do and how much we farm, what we farm, the cows, the different things that process and plant. And out here, what you got here is you got a few cows that are in there. This was actually the shed when I was a boy. This was our big shed.
Wow.
We had about 30 cows.
Yeah.
We milked them in this building right here.
Yeah.
So those are the originals. The rest of the stuff is all new. But what we got in there now is pregnant mothers that are going to be having babies within, and so they're not milking right now. This is what I like about technology. For years and years, come down and check the cows. I'm going down to check the cows. I'm going down. All you did was always checking the cows because you had cows calving. Well, now we have a camera in there, a 360 night vision zoom. It's all on our phones. No matter where I'm at, I just bring my phone up. I can zoom in. I can scan the whole barn. Anything going on? Nope, nothing going on. If there is, I can keep an eye on it. I don't even have to be here. Animals. And then we have young stock, about 120 young stock from baby calves up to 2 years old.
So that's too many for them to really have a personality that you recognize.
You can still recognize a lot of it, but it's kind of like little kids. I always say, the ones that do everything right and they're not making any problems, you kind of forget about that. The ones you know are the ones that are difficult. Yeah. And same thing here. Yeah. We got a certain number of them cows, they're the difficult ones. Yeah, they always got to have something.
If we see one, you point out the naughty cows.
Yeah, and I'll say, there she is. I know her. We're going to go into the processing plant here, and then so what we're going to do is, if you take an average cow, they're going to be 2 years old when they have their baby, and then they're going to produce. So we have a lactation. A lactation starts and ends about every 370 days on an average on the place. A little over a year, they're going to have another baby. What that is actually just, it's well water on one side and it's milk on the other side, and it's transferring that cold from the well water to the milk, and so it's just evening that out.
Yeah.
So they do.
This bottler here.
Yeah.
How old is it? And
well, that is a. You can tell it's got some age to it, but it's one of them old reliables. I tell you what.
Somebody's over there.
Yeah, she's kind of checking it out. We got one in here that this one had just come in.
Oh yeah, there she goes.
She's busy eating, so she comes.
Are you telling me that they're not even attended with people?
No, watch.
I told
There's a
you
laser.
about this, Mark.
Watch,
You
there's
said
a
you
laser.
saw it. You knew about it.
Yes, but you know what? It's more than that. Now we use positive reinforcement here. So you know what our positive reinforcement is?
Snacks.
Yes, and so what it is, it's a sweet feed. And so when she's going in there, she's really not going in to get relieved, because she's not going to be uncomfortable, because the cows that are the highest producing cows can milk 5 times in 24 hours. The computer will let them come in 5 different times, even though it's got it segmented out. She just can't come in 5 times in a row.
Yeah.
But within a 24-hour period, she could come in 5 times and milk and have her treat. And if she walks in and it's not her time, the gate's going to open. There's no treat. She'll just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we got the milk starting to show.
In a normal milking like this, how much milk comes out?
It's going to vary a lot, because it's going to depend if that's that cow that only gets milked once every 24 hours, and even though she's a lower producer, even once every 24 hours, she could be about 5 gallons. That's about the most.
In 24 hours, the cow does 5.
And then some of these cows, our highest producing cows is about 16 gallons of milk a day.
Oh my God.
And our lowest one is 5. So you look at the range from 16 to 5. Now, the computer knows all that, so it's going to milk them all accordingly and let them milk accordingly. And all this is all, they come in at their own will. It's all free will.
How old are these machines?
They're 11 and a half years old.
So 11 and a half years ago, you guys were this freaking high tech.
Yeah,
you were ahead of the curve.
Oh yeah, these are about the only ones that were put in this area.
Here you can see a cow came in before it was her time. The computer knows when she was last in. So the feed didn't drop and she was gently pushed on her way.
Now the other thing is inside that arm, each one of those lines, there's a connectivity sensor in there. So what that's doing actually is it's looking at that milk from that exact cow from the time.
It also cleans out everything. After the cow goes, it's sanitized.
Yes, and so it sanitizes and it yep. And then twice a day, all three of these machines will shut down together, doing a complete internal wash. And then after that, they'll actually start milking, but every 7 cows, they'll do another short wash.
Because we didn't grow up on a farm, we found this all just fascinating. And here, Doug explains how the computer can keep track of each cow.
The main muscle goes across here. The reason for that is it counts how many times you chews or cut every day, individually. And the reason what research showed is that if you take a cow, keep her so she's stress-free, keep her as relaxed as possible, she's going to have the same amount of activity, same amount of cut chewing every day because they're a creature of habit. They're going to do exactly the same amount of stuff every day. Now, when you can measure something, that gives us the ability to see if something's off. So if she's not feeling good, say if you get a day where she's just off a little bit, she's still not enough that I can't see it. The computer tells me her rumination, her activity is off a little. She's not quite up to par. We can fix that really easy. Give her some probiotics. So what we'll do is give her.
There is so much more info that Doug shared with us that we're not showing. And if he has the time, this is what you'll get when you're here as a Harvest Host guest.
It's got some of our ingredients in it, but this pellet is that sweet molasses pellet. This is what, right, the augers go
you
up.
could make beer.
Yeah. So what they do is that goes in, that dribbles out to them cows. So this is some of what they do. This is an automated feed pusher. And so it's charged up, battery charges up. It's going to go now, it'll stop here in a second. It's going to go in and charge up. Every hour and a half it wakes up. And what it's doing is this, we feed that feed to the cows once a day here that you're going to see. That gets fed once a day, but as the cows are eating it, they're always pushing it out. This thing comes along every hour and a half, kind of rolls it back in. And then it readjusts itself, so by tomorrow morning, it keeps getting a little closer every time. So by tomorrow morning, this feed will be completely gone. And now it's stopped in here and starting up.
That is so cool.
Everybody wants to come up and get that fresh feed. Well, because there's things that we have to do. We have to artificial inseminate. We might have to do some vaccination. We might have to give some boluses, some of those probiotics to the cows. All those different things that we might have to do. You'd have to go in and feed all them cows, right? But we don't have to do that.
Daddy's gonna lock you up.
And then they're gonna go in, they're gonna eat, and then they're gonna lock. And when we need to do it, we gotta do all we gotta do is go along.
This is the business end of the mechanical engineering marvel here, called the poop pusher. Now, once again, automation has eliminated the job of the proverbial poop pusher guy, but you gotta ask yourself, do you really want that job? Look at it, the cow's even smart enough, like, I think I'm getting on the proper side of the poop pusher. You can see it's just a very heavy V-shaped contraption, but you can see it really sweeps it clean.
It's clean.
You know, we wouldn't have poop, of course, in the RV, but we could certainly put this in to get all of the little crumbs and things that are on the floor. What do you think, honey?
Oh my God.
No?
Why not?
And here you can see cows going in to be milked, and it's all free will. You can also see there are others lining up for their turn. It's amazing.
Wow. So this is that big feeder wagon I talked. So he's got a mix in there for those cows right there. That's different than this mix right here.
Why is that different?
Those cows down there are in a different lactation. They're in a different stage of lactation.
Oh,
Yeah.
so that's why we...
Doug explained how they try to keep the cows stress-free so they'll produce more milk. Having fans and keeping the flies off them helps.
You know, these are sticky. We got 2
Oh,
rows
and
of-
look, there's a whole
that's
big
that's a
row
sticky
going.
tape.
Brilliant.
And you can see the new stuff that hasn't been used. And you
My
can see,
God.
and you can see the stuff that's used. So what they do is they constantly just keep bringing that in and bringing that out, that new stuff, and then that's one of the ways we control.
What do you like?
I'll be right now. I'm gonna grab something.
Is it okay if I do this?
So this is our way up, and so we can feed all these calves in about 15 minutes. You know, it don't take.
So, how many calves a year do you get?
We probably have about calf every other day, so we got about 180, about every other day.
Every other day they got a calf.
Baby calf. Yeah, you got another can a day.
Now back to the gift shop. Got this nice outdoor area, shaded. Grab your ice cream or your pizza and enjoy the view. So one thing we found out is if you're a harvest host and you're coming in, we actually pulled in up here and parked in the parking lot right there. But you can come around in front, and then it does actually go around, making it easy if you want to set yourself up to have an easy out. By the way, I just bought an ice cream sandwich, chocolate with caramel pecan. And they do make their own cookies here too, not just the ice cream. So you can see you can swing around up here, plenty of room. And then position yourself way in the back. A lot of room. I think they said at the most they've had 7, but they probably could accommodate even more. It's always nice to find a harvest host that accommodates even the big rigs.
You gonna share that, honey, Mr. Oh.
No, I am not going to share this ice cream with you. I'm showing how you would come out.
Okay.
And maybe if you're nice, I might let you,
Look at it.
yeah. So you can see you can easily get out of here. Nice and wide. Gravel.
Uh-huh.
Awesome visit. Learned a
Plenty of
lot.
room, plenty of room.
Yeah. This was another great harvest host find that is definitely big rig friendly and fascinating for those of us not raised on a farm anyway. You can find their products all over Sioux Falls, including the Overlook Cafe located at the Falls Park, in which the Stensland Family Farm manages. Thanks for joining us, and if you're not a Harvest Host member already, please consider going to our website, ourjourneyinmiles.com, and use us as a referral. If you're not a Harvest Host member already, you can save 15% with our referral link. Just go to our YouTube channel and then click on any video and scroll down. You're going to see the description and you want to click on the Show More tab and then scroll down some more. There you're going to find the Harvest Host link. So simply click on that link, and that's going to take you to their page that says your friend gave you 15% off. Use code HHFriends15 at checkout. You also want to look up here and make sure it does say Our Journey in Miles, that we get the credit. And we appreciate your support. Another way you can get to the Harvest Host is through our website. Just go to ourjourneyinmiles.com, and then under the blog tab, you're going to see one of the categories is Harvest Hosts. Once you get to that page, you can read all about it and our experiences with that. And keep scrolling down. You're going to find our link that will actually take you to the site where you can sign up as a Harvest Host member. So once you get to that page, just scroll on down and you're going to find Join Harvest Host today. Thanks again for watching.